Hey everybody, Norm from Tested here at Wonderfest 2026. Now along with Scott, great to meet you.
Great to meet you, Norm.
Now Scott, we've seen X-Wings at the show, we've seen Y-Wings, but we have never dove deep into a studio scale B-Wing, and you have made quite the B-Wing. Tell me about this and what this replicates.
Yeah, so this is the B-Wing from Return of the Jedi, built by Bill George when he worked at ILM.
Bill's here.
Bill is here, absolutely. Yeah, he was the one that came up with the concept for it and got approval, and then he built 2 of them. This version is what they call the meatball. You can see the orange deco on the wings and on the side there. And this was the one that they kind of sent out to Kenner and they used to kind of make promotional pictures. It's on all like the coloring books and everything.
Yeah.
The other version is a kind of a grayer version, so it still has the blue striping, but there's some other gray deco on it, and that version is the one that actually ended up in the film.
And physically, are they the same in terms of the detailing?
There's slight differences in the decals and also in the greeblies used. So where this version, you can see over here on the side, there's this open panel.
Yes.
That shows kind of like some damage, or they forgot to put a panel in place. On the other variant, that is whole. There's a panel that runs down here that's missing that has all sorts of pipes and different pieces going through it.
Wow.
There's also different details on the fronts of the guns here. There's different long tom and pieces used there to kind of like give it a little bit of different flair.
Now, you're telling me this is about a 1/32 scale?
Correct.
And the B-Wing is interesting because it shows up in Jedi. We see one, it's like there's so much love and affinity for it, but it doesn't have a massive presence, but its design as a bomber is so unique.
Yeah.
And the way you've built it, you told me there are no 3D printed parts on this.
Correct, none.
So how did you go about building something to replicate the studio scale at this right size and with this detail?
Yeah, so I started off with the Bandai model kit because it's actually a direct scan of the original filming model, which is they then use to scale that and make it accurate.
And that's small, that's
It's
172.
Small. Yeah, about 172, 180 scale. And then I use that as a reference point to then scale up and build bucks to vac form the shapes. So most of the shapes you see here, the shrouds down here, the main wing, the main body, the neck up here to cockpit, those are all vacuum form shapes. So I built bucks for them and vacked them down.
Was this wood, wren shape? Or
I used wood. Wren shape's a little expensive for me,
Yeah.
but I just used wood, sanded it nice and flush, and used 060 thick styrene, and it came down. It basically was 1 millimeter thick, which was a good thickness to work with for most of it.
You're scaling up from the Bandai. You said 172, 180 scale.
Yeah.
B-Wing has compound curves, right? Like to get a buck right, if you go too far, you got to Bondo and add material, and you got to get it symmetrical, and it's a lot of different shapes. How many different bucks?
17.
17 different fundamental, primary forms.
Yeah. It's really more like 15 because some get reused, but it's like 14 or 15 different bucks all. And the harder part was like the main wing because it has different geometry at the top than the bottom, and then you needed to mirror that to the other side.
Yeah.
So doing that without doing any 3D printing, all from just like sanding and shaping, was difficult.
It's the mirroring that's the hard part, right? Nothing's really symmetrical here,
and really
bilaterally,
and it's still not quite symmetrical in here or there, but close enough.
Okay, so you made your bucks, you vacuum formed your styrene, you got basically your kit parts then. Tell me then about detailing out all the greeblies.
Yeah, I mean, there's most of the greeblies on this are in the gun wells underneath the guns, at the tips of the wings here, and underneath. A lot of F1 Formula Tamiya kits used there. Inside the main gun here, there's a ton of things shoved in there. And then in the cockpit. The cockpit's got probably the most number of like individual greebly parts. There's like 4 or 5 different ships that contribute heavily to that cockpit.
In the B-Wing community and builders community, are these all known at this point? Is there still more research to be done, or?
There's still more research to be done. So in the gun wells here and in here where the barrels actually make contact in, no one actually knows what those parts are. At least nobody that I've come across has identified what they are. Bill doesn't know what they are. So that's still like we're on the hunt for what the magic piece is for that. So I just scratched that part.
Sure.
But,
yeah.
But yeah, those are the big parts that nobody knows what they are. Everything else pretty much is known at this point.
And you wanted to make it as close to that filming miniature. And the filming miniature, I see it attached, the armature attached here, right? So you have a structure on the inside?
Yes. I have a mounting block on the inside, so yeah, it attaches in the back. These panels on the side also are magnetically attached. Come off. There's a mount point
so you have a side
and
mount?
power points inside there as well.
Nice.
So the top there, this side, and down here on the bottom, there's a mount point, and that comes off, and there's a thread there, so you could mount it vertically straight up. And power it.
The originals, did they use magnets as well for the panels?
I don't know. I think they just stuck them on. Yeah, no, that's a more modern.
Convenience for you.
It's convenience for me, so it's not accurate in that regard, but yes.
Scott, one of the coolest parts about the B-Wing is that it articulates, it moves. You know, just like the X-Wing has its attack position, does this B-Wing articulate?
It does. So the cockpit absolutely will rotate to accommodate whatever attack position you'd like it to assume. And the S-foils will do a full, they go down fully and full up.
It held its place.
I've got a lot of, the grub screws are tensioned properly
perfectly
to keep
tensioned.
it kind of in place and snug. This one actually doesn't snug as well, so it's tensioned a little bit more. But that side is actually cooperating.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did you learn most about doing your replica, about that you didn't know going into it and that you liked the most?
Yeah. I mean, it was a challenge for me. I had only built one studio scale model before this one, a TIE bomber, and I just wanted to do something that no one had done.
Yeah.
I enjoyed almost every aspect of it: the research, the figuring out the scale, working on the bucks, identifying kit parts. But really, for me, kind of once it all came together, and I got started getting the base coats and the primer and the solid colors on, and then it just kind of started to pop, and I felt like, okay, this is a ship.
Is it the meatball paint scheme that made you want the one to do this one versus what's on screen?
I like that deco better.
Yeah.
I was really a fan of the way the meatball looked. I thought it had a little bit more character to it than the other one. The other one felt a little more bland. Plus, a lot of folks do the meatball, and there's most of the reference that's out there.
Because of the Kenner toy, and it's what kids would play. They played with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What about some of the text work here and some of these decals? Are they a source as close to the original?
They are, if they're not the originals from original kits, they are reproductions of the originals applied in the same way. Some of them are upside down and backwards, as Bill would have applied them. Some of them there's one on the side of the neck over here that nobody had identified what it was, and I had to kind of back engineer and figure out what it was, and it was actually a decal I had, which was nice. And then I was able to cut that and apply it. So yeah, and there's all kinds of like letraset, like these triangles on the wings. They're like the old rub-on letraset that are hard to find.
Dry rub, it's and expensive.
And expensive, yes. So
well, you got a chance to show it to Bill George, right? Yes. And for him to bring him back to what he made, those many years ago, what did he have insight to share with you?
Absolutely. Like I got so much insight onto it. Things that I necessarily weren't able to incorporate into this one because I was a little further along. But things like at the top here is a mounting point on the original that like no one knew about. Okay. So yeah, there's a mount point that's there. The front here pulls out on mine, but I don't have a mount point, but there's supposed to be a mount point there. He had all kinds of pictures he shared with me of the prototype and kind of like the build and how he kind of went about it, and seeing like the internal frame of what he was working with. So if I took another stab at it, I've got a lot more knowledge to build an improved version.
But you might give it some time before you do a 2.0.
I'm a little burned on it. I won't lie. Yes, I'm going to give it some time. I got a couple other things I want to work on in the meantime, but I may come back to it again in a couple years.
Scott, such beautiful work. Congratulations not only on building your favorite version of this B-Wing, but also being able to show the original designer and builder of the B-Wing.
Yeah, it's an incredible experience to be able to do that, because I know not everyone can, and to meet Bill and share it with him was a dream come true.
All right, great job.
Thanks, Noah.